Hey, Josh and Chris, how are you guys doing?
Good form, Herb.
Good form, Herb.
Good morning. So, hey, let me start with Josh. Your character is just such a crazy sort of iconic mixture of stuff. What was the most interesting thing about Giorgio that drew you to that character?
I'm stealing what you just said, Herb, an iconic mixture of stuff. I like that description. I laughed my way through the scripts. When I read the book by M.O. Walsh, it made me think a lot about my own life and, how happy and fulfilled I am in it. But what would a card do if it made me all of a sudden start questioning all of that? Oh man, maybe I shouldn't be an actor. I should be an astronaut or a photographer or a karate instructor, And I think that's what our show does a great job of. Dave West Reed just has done an incredible job of introducing all these characters and where they all end up and how they got there. And for, to play Giorgio, first time I met him on the script, he's coming in and interrupting a pleasant happy birthday dinner for his best bud Dusty and Cass, and he shows his love in a very interesting way, very loud and proud, his love.
Absolutely. Well, and Chris, it's funny because of the way that, your card unfolds. So where do you come down on that concept of, sort of destiny versus personal drive? I mean, was this like a gauntlet thrown down for you, maybe?
Well, for Dusty, I think he feels quite disconcerted by the whole idea of somebody telling him what to do, or a card or an oracle telling him what to do, and everybody else losing their minds by the idea of this positive reinforcement in a certain area. He's a cynic, I suppose, within this community, and acts often like a type of George Costanza type figure trying to work out TikTok. Why is everybody doing this? This seems ridiculous. And so he doesn't necessarily believe in the idea of destiny, but watches as everybody else's futures unfold and gets a bit of FOMO, I think, Herb, and doesn't want to miss out on the fun. So inserts himself into the situation also, and of course everything becomes untangled.
Well, and it does seem like a small town is, such the perfect laboratory, or the perfect place for this experiment to take place. Did you guys base your characters and the way that you played them on people that you knew coming from where you grew up and your experiences?
I mean, it's odd because I'm playing an immigrant, as I am, and I kind of left Ireland probably 20, 25 years ago, as Dusty did. So I kind of feel comfortable as that fish out of water type character. But Dusty Hubbard is, to me, such a quintessentially American character. His kind of positivity and whistling his way through life isn't familiar to me from people in Ireland. They have different kind of an energy. Another beautiful, artistic, also cynical energy. So to me, it's my interpretation of what a small town American is like.
What about you, Josh?
There are definitely elements of people that I know in Giorgio. The sweet side of Giorgio, the loving side, I would tell them personally. And then that loud, sometimes embarrassing side, there's somebody I think about a lot, but I could never tell him that, I could never let him know that he's inside my brain while I'm playing this character. The person that you're sometimes embarrassed to bring to events, but they are one of your best friends. You're like, dude, do we have to bring them? They might say something. Do we? That's there. That's great.
I got to say too, I really loved Giorgio's as a location. I mean, I just cannot get over the gondola with a hockey stick. I mean, I want to go to that place. Did that make you guys want to create this restaurant?
I'm in the process of franchising Giorgio's right now. So you'll be there in a couple of years. I used to bust tables at the Olive Garden back in Orlando. It was one of my summer jobs. I ate many breadsticks a day, so knowing that we have some Olive Garden breadsticks passing around that Giorgio's, that's a very, very sweet Easter egg for anybody out there.
How is it that they describe Giorgio as if an Olive Garden had a baby with the Dave and Buster's?
Correct. I'd be there once a week, I can promise you that. Every Friday night, family trip to Giorgio's.
I'm going to have some dessert in that gondola for sure.
Well, and I just love how all of a sudden I noticed there's like a laser tag area in one of the later episodes. I'm just like, wow, how many rooms are there in this place? It's like it's everything for everyone.
A lot of rooms at Giorgio's.
I really like the idea that we find another corner of it and there's a crash. Drop their kids off and go play laser tag and get wasted.
Absolutely.
Giorgio.
So Chris, I got to ask you too. Were you a whistler, or did you have a whistling coach on set? Is that something you needed help with, or were you good there?
The course Herb went to Salt Lake City. They've got a whistling instructor there that I heard was living in the hills. But I brought him out of retirement one last time, and we really montaged it up. A lot of lip movements that would be too sexual for a daytime show, Herb, so I won't introduce them. But I did some of my own whistling. I think we brought in a professional whistler in post to help with some of the trills. But it really is to get the idea that he is a happy-go-lucky character.
Well, it's brilliant. Thank you. So one last thing I wanted to touch on. I think it's really sort of sweet and ironic and beautiful that this technology element of the Morpho machine is delivering this physical piece of paper, this card that then, everyone is sort of carrying around, and it just sort of, it's like old school, right? It's like, it's like back to a book, or it's like a printed, it's a tactile thing that it dishes out, and then you sort of carry that weight around with you as opposed to something, just ephemeral, like if you're scrolling on your phone or something. So I thought that was sort of a nice touch to sort of bring that back around, and maybe that was something that was different for a lot of people. Maybe the younger kids on set were so used to just not having printed media. Did that seem weird to them, do you think?
That's a good point, Herb.
I don't know. The younger people on set, I brought up Cher, right? Cher came up in conversation, and one of our cast said, "Who's Cher?" And Herb, I'm not going to lie, I nearly slapped them. Who's Cher? So I don't know. Maybe they are freaked out by plastic. They probably would be a bunch of freaks.
Yeah, there's a couple cool old school elements. Now you bring that up. Also, the opening animations.
Oh, yeah.
I love the opening animations. It reminds me of an old school opening to a show. Each one is a little different. It gives you a hint into that episode. So it brings that old school element. That song, the music on this show, I love. Speaking of Cher,
yeah,
I love the music on our show. I think the soundtrack is fantastic. So I think you're going to feel a lot of those nostalgic feels on our show with obviously a new idea.
Well, and I think also the idea that the way the episodes are focusing on characters, it really gives you guys a chance to breathe and to let somebody's story come through as opposed to trying to weave multiple plots into each episode. So I for one, hope that we get several seasons of this, and I just want to thank you guys for the great work you've done so far. Really enjoying the show, and keep up the good work.
Oh, it's very kind, Herb. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Herb.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Good to meet you.